it's not going to be hard. We're not talking about, non-shooters or, guys that are limited offensively. We're talking about James Harden. I mean, it's funny. You see all the stories that are out there and all that stuff, and obviously, we all see it. It's completely different than, what you see out there. He's a great person, great personality, always smiling, fun to be around. His presence on the team and on the floor, has really changed a lot since he got here. So I'm just excited for that to continue on the court, and I think he's going to help us a lot.
All right, so Joel Embiid, he sounds pretty optimistic about how easy it's going to be for Harden to fit in with the Sixers. But, Richard, do you think they're going to hit the ground running, or do you anticipate maybe some growing pains here?
Well, I think if their goal is to be the best team in the NBA and to win a championship, there's going to be growing pains. It doesn't mean that they're going to lose a ton of games or this and that, but there's going to be games of understanding, hey, I like it here. Hey, when you pass the ball here, make sure you're cutting. What are we going to do with Matisse Thybulle? Because also, even for Tyrese Maxey, he has been playing outstanding, but he has been on the ball predominantly. They were grooming him to be a point guard, and he was excelling in that space. So now he has to learn to play off the ball. All of those things are going to still lead to wins, but in order for them to get to that elite level of winning a championship, there should be growing pains, and they're going to have some.
But, Shanae, how much is Harden going to raise Philly's ceiling here?
This is the point of getting and acquiring James Harden, to win a championship. James Harden is the championship piece. That's the expectation for the squad. You've got a 1A, 1B MVP in Joel Embiid, and you've got a former MVP that is still in his prime. And a lot of people will criticize the last 2 years, how things went with Houston, how he got out, how he played in Brooklyn, especially right before the trade deadline. Well, the reality is, if you really want to be unbiased about it, he's in the process of reinventing his game. Meaning, we're not seeing as many step backs. We're not seeing as many, trying to get to the rim and get fouls. We're seeing more assists. It's not been perfect or pretty at all points, but James Harden, he's giving us the evidence to show that he's willing to do whatever is necessary, even make people mad enough to get to Philly to win a championship. So yeah, James Harden, he is the championship piece. We'll see if it all works out. I'm so excited for tonight. I don't know if you guys can tell. I'm thrilled.
Big Perk? What was that?
You know what else? We looking at those clips, and guess what? He looks skinny all of a sudden, right? All these people that was talking about he looked fat and out of shape, all of a sudden James Harden looks skinny, right? He looks in shape. But that's one thing.
You asking for any tips?
Here it is, right?
Stop it. I knew that was coming.
But listen, I don't. But listen, here's the thing. When you look at James Harden's game, we all had concerns on how he was going to adjust when he got to Brooklyn. And he showed us last year that he actually could be a point guard. Not only be a point guard, but be the best point guard in the NBA, because he was that last year. So what he's going to do is add to Joel Embiid's game. Joel Embiid is going to get those wide open looks at the elbow and mid-post area because of James Harden. Joel Embiid is going to be able to be a lob threat at the basket and get easy easy lobs at the rim because of the pressure James Harden put on the basket. So I think this is we're going to see pick and roll at its finest between a guard and a big finally. And James Harden has did so much of a great job transitioning from a shooting guard to a point guard that it's not going to be a problem at all.
Well, here's one thing I'm going to be watching for with James Harden. He prided himself in being the league's Iron Man for so many years. And then over the last year or so, that's gone downhill a little bit with his hamstring, not being able to stay on the court in Brooklyn, obviously needing some time to get back right before he's making his debut in Philadelphia. He wants to be that guy. He's told me over and over that his teammates can rely on and be out there. If he can keep that, then he's going to have the time to work on his game to build that gelling that we're looking at some of these other teams like Brooklyn, like even maybe Milwaukee with Brook Lopez, who was back out on the court yesterday, but we still haven't seen him in a game. They may have the time to gel that some of their competitors, say for those goons down in South Beach,